What would you say in the intro was the point?
This video. What's up, Liz viewers? In this video, we're going to talk about the power of vulnerability. We think it's really important. We've experienced it together recently, and we know that vulnerability is much more powerful now in an intimate, setting, and we've experienced that to a depth. Some fear has come up for us, so today we're going to share how the fear has affected us, how we got through it, and how vulnerability actually made our relationship better. Something like that.
Oh, that was great. Actually, we're going to go for that. That was the intro,
that was it.
so I don't have to do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay.
So we're starting this now.
We're starting this.
Okay.
That was really good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we're in Sediment, East Valley. Just for a couple of days, we went to remote to a little bit south, centering, understanding what's going on. But yeah, it's been powerful to be here, disconnected in nature. Would love to show, but unfortunately the lights aren't really always helpful.
Yeah, I mean, there's a beautiful view of a rice field, palm trees, or some kind of tree after. It's super beautiful here. But the reason we actually initially came here, so Leia surprised me with this trip, incredible. I actually had to like practice and breathe through it and feel worthy of receiving this amazing gift, which is something I went through because it's seriously so beautiful here. And the reason we came here was because I was actually planning on leaving Bali, and so she was like, "Okay, well, I'll do this beautiful night for us, and we'll connect deeply before I go." And I decided to stay. That might even be for another video, but I decided to stay. And yeah, so we're out here, but we want to talk about in this video, right, like where we kind of came from, how we met, and then the fear that came up.
Yeah, so the goal is to be fully authentic, fully yourself, fully open, like we've tried really hard to be during this time meeting each other. And because I believe in life, we go through things and it brings us fears, and sometimes it actually stops us to go towards what we really desire. And that's basically what happened with us. Like,
yeah, so much fear has come up. So let's just tell them how we met first of all, because your viewers don't know me. So I'm just some dude that lives in Bali, and we ended up meeting at a cafe. So I saw Leia sitting down at the cafe. Her tattoos were showing. She's wearing this creative outfit, working on something, and I'm over here sitting down doing my work. I'm kind of looking over at her. And before I left, I'm like, I want to say hi to this girl. I'm curious. I'm interested.
So just Brett is really social. He challenges himself a lot, and especially to meet random people.
Yeah.
So that happens a lot.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
It's not just that.
So you're not special.
Yeah, I am better.
And anyway, so we go and we chat. We have a great conversation. She was working on some crazy naked mushroom picture or something at the time, as far as I can remember. Which definitely helped me wanting to keep talking to her. And anyways, so we connected. I invited her to this event that me and my friend were putting on a few days later. We connected even deeper at that event. Kind of got to know her a little bit more. Learned more about what she's about. We connected on spirituality, on psychology, on our past traumas, and just kind of being open and vulnerable in general. And we had that night, and then we kind of were just friends. Okay, yeah, so this is fun. So I totally friend zoned her, totally. In my head, she was just straight up a friend.
Me too.
Yeah, that's true. And then we met at a restaurant a few weeks later, or maybe even a couple months later at this point. And that's when we had our first connection that was beyond friends. So for me, we were sitting, me and her, and then with a mutual friend of ours, Alex. What's up, brother? And we love you. And at one moment, this is what the experience was for me. At one moment during this lunch or dinner, our eyes locked, and they locked naturally, and we stared into each other's eyes for a few minutes, and that was the first time that I felt like I got to know you deeper, on a deeper level. And I saw past you. You're a beautiful woman. I saw past your body and everything else that you were presenting. And I saw deep into I felt like your soul. And it was super beautiful and powerful. And then after that...
Wait.
Okay.
My experience in this...
Was it different? I was just oh really? I was blown away looking in your eyes. Why is this guy staring at me?
No, but it's funny because when I met Brett, I was really not interested.
Yeah, that's awesome to say. Yeah. Doesn't feel great, but.
Wait, it comes like better.
Oh, it does.
And then we hang out a couple of times, and I was like, wow, he's super intelligent. I can see really a lot of similarity in the way he wants to grow up as a person and getting better in his life, and this obsession that you weren't realizing that was within me for growth and understanding about life, emotions, digging always, and anyway, going through life in a different way. And so the more actually I observed you from outside, through like putting yourself out there and actually talking about what he's going through, vulnerability or even like intellectual things, it really attracted me. I was like, fuck, this guy, actually he's interesting. And I've had, like, there's plenty of men in this world, but for me it's really hard to actually find someone I'm attracted to. So I was like, this is interesting. But then
keep going, I'm loving this.
Okay. You see it gets better,
It
right?
does, it did get better, yeah.
So, and that evening when we finally he feels the connection, I felt it too. Even though I had this in mind, I wasn't going to pursue anything. So we met at this cafe, and I totally felt the energy.
I think that you're talking about the first time we met. Or at Superfood.
Wait.
Yeah, okay, so we met at the restaurant later. The eye-gazing connection that I had with her. That night she felt my super sexy energy.
Oh yeah. That was the first time like I felt something like that for someone in a long time. And I was like, wow, what's going on? So I went home on my scooter and I was like, oh, that's interesting, what's going on? And then I was like, oh, I'm not going to see him again just to see, you know?
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah, well, it's funny because she went home on the scooter feeling like, oh, what was that, you know? Like, wow. And I, like, walk up to my room, I'm like, I was talking to my friend Alex, I'm like, Alex, did you feel that connection? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. And I went to bed. Like, that was the extent of what I felt after. I was like, okay, I guess you were still friends, didn't think anything, because you were hardcore in the friend zone. I was like, you know, like, I just never saw us together past friends. I just didn't even think of it.
Okay.
And anyway, so it's just kind of funny how we both had different experiences after the fact. And then when we met a month later now at this point, I thought we were meeting again as friends.
Well, that was my intention too, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah. But you were coming to like check it out, like what's happening here.
Yeah, still.
But for me, I hadn't yet admitted that I was attracted to her, even though I was since that first night. I had that connection, but I had never felt that, so I didn't really know what to do with it. I was like, oh, we're just friends, because you know I've been kind of afraid of relationships. I've been afraid of opening up, not just to women, but to friends, like close friends, because it's scary. Because if you know, I thought like if someone were to see who I really am, if I really open up to someone, then they would now have the power to either accept or reject who I really am, and there's like that could hurt if I got rejected. So I was afraid to open up, and I didn't accept that I was actually attracted to her. And then we had this one night where we went out to. I'm just gonna skip through the story because we're taking up a lot of time here.
It's okay.
Yeah, we can talk forever about this.
But we had a night of connecting.
We had a night of connecting.
Yeah.
And
not having sex.
Yeah, no sex. But it was like pretty physical.
Yeah.
But no sex. And at the end of the night, in the morning.
That's when it comes to fear.
Yeah, then the fear. So this is your time to talk now, because this is like.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll tell my side of the story first.
Yeah.
So in the morning, like I get up to meditate, kind of do my morning routine. I'm journaling. She stays in bed for a little bit longer, and she ends up coming out of the room, and I'm journaling. I'm doing my thing. She walks into the room. It's like early in the morning. I haven't really talked to her yet during the day, and she's like, I don't remember what you said, but it was basically like,
have a good day.
Bye, goodbye. And like we had this beautiful night connecting. And I opened my heart to her last night, and she leaves. And in my head, I was like, oh shit. I guess we are just friends. Like I guess this is just one night of like hooking up. Like we just like there's passion for a night. Because remember before I thought we were in the friend zone, and then we had this one, and I'm like, oh maybe we're not. And then it was like, goodbye. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. So maybe that was true. So now share maybe what happened there for you. And hold on, this is like the vulnerable part now. This is like.
Yeah. That's the interesting part.
Yeah, this is so now we
first it was the intro.
We buttered you up. Now we're gonna like give you the turkey.
Okay.
So go ahead.
So what happened is we had this connection during the night, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. I felt like I could be myself and be vulnerable and actually open, which I rarely do with men lately because I have been heartbroken and it took me a long time to actually heal, and I was really distancing myself from other men. But what happened is in the morning, so we both have the similarities, like we both have really disciplined routine in the morning, and I used to wake up at 6 in the morning and start to do my stuff, and he wakes up at 5 in the morning and do his stuff. And then I stayed in bed when we woke up, and at some point, like, I didn't told you this.
You haven't told me this yet.
No.
Okay, what?
And then I say, how are you doing? Because that's what I'm doing, you know, meditation in the morning and some writing and stuff. And I knew that it was what you were going to do, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I do my thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for the sun to come out and then I will go. And then I think you say yes or something like that.
Okay.
And then I felt so bad, and I was like in that bed, and I was like, what am I doing here? Like, I felt so vulnerable, I felt so fearful, I felt rejected for some reasons. When it wasn't your case at all, that's really funny. And when I left, I remember, I say, hey, bye, and I felt like so unconfident, which doesn't rarely happen, and I felt like so vulnerable. I felt angry, like I put music on and I took my scooter and I went like, oh, and I went to the beach and I tried to ride it down, but I had so much energy going on in myself, and I was like, oh, what's happening? That's not good. When we just had an amazing night, to be honest, and connecting, like, yeah, and I was like, what the fuck is happening to me? No, I don't want this. Oh,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Doesn't want this. I mean, come on. So you can see how crazy it was. I'm just kidding. Yeah. So you dealt with a lot of anger that day.
And then you said, an hour later, I received this message, which I think was really brave and courageous and beautiful, but I couldn't receive in the place that it was sent. Like.
Yeah. Yeah. I sent a message early in the morning, like at like 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning after. When she had left, just because like I was like confused still of what's going on with us. So for me, this was me getting vulnerable. Now this was like me, like we had this amazing night. I'm like, okay, like I actually wanted to send you a message like right when you left. But I'm like, no, I'll play it cool. You know, I won't send it right away. I don't want to be too needy. You know, I'm like, okay, I'll wait. I was gonna wait till later in the day. I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna play these stupid games and like wait till like the afternoon to text somebody. Like it's just stupid.
And when I saw you send me a message, I was like, oh, that's really sweet.
Did you think that? Yeah, because like I think a lot of guys over think like, oh, I don't want to appear too needy.
Yeah, we want to play games like not sending that.
Yeah, it's such
but
bullshit.
I believe it's all about connection. When you have a connection with someone, there's not so much of a playing, oh, I will wait, I will that. You just have to really feel it, and when you're really connected with yourself, like I went for it. I spent the night with him because I felt that connection. Otherwise, I wouldn't. You know?
And so I sent her a message basically saying I really had like a great night. There's some other stuff in there that I don't remember saying that you seem to have picked up on.
Yeah.
But for me, how I remember the experience was like me opening up and saying I had a great night and I want to see you again romantically, which is tough to say because it was like me opening up. People are probably like, dude, what the hell? That's like the easiest thing to say, especially if you had a great night. But the truth was, for me, it was tough to open up to say, I want you, basically. Like, I want you. You now have the power. Like, I want you. You can either say yes or no. Like, I'm saying I want to see you again.
But
That's
what
scary.
I hear about those messages, yeah, but it's super great. Like people should be doing this, honestly, and be honest, even if you actually haven't found this. And then this, if I wouldn't have felt the same, from this I could have replied, well, actually, and totally turn it off, which I half did because of fears, actually.
Yeah.
So what happened in this beautiful message when you say that our night was fantastic and that you really wanted to see me again, there was a part that was saying without attachment, either for time and expectations, which is one of my values as well, right? Especially when you just meet someone. But the fact to hear that, I was like, oh, nope. I'm really happy where I am, where like I don't need to go into something that someone wants something more, let's say. And I really was like, that was the main thing I remember from this message, the thing that I kept. And that was responding for total fear. And what I did is like, Ola, it took me like a good day, half a day to reply, because I was like, what am I gonna say? I don't feel good. And then I was like, okay, I took over what I was feeling, and I was like, I'm gonna play cool, like, okay, I want to see you again, but like we were really enthusiastic, and to just like take some space. And the way you took it was like rejection.
Yeah, I was just like, I just assumed like, oh shit, you don't really want it that much, because I was like, I want to see you again romantically, and you were like,
I'm happy to see you again.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. Anyways, yeah, but so the whole point of this, the reason we're making this video, is I'm seeing now for two things specifically is vulnerability is powerful. So if I didn't send that message to her, then she wouldn't have had a chance to go through that fear. Because if I had been closed off and my heart was closed and I didn't say I want to see you again, I just kept it closed, she would have also stayed closed, because she would have just assumed, okay, yeah, we're done. And both of us would have kept going.
And it was easier for me than to confront those fears, right?
Yeah.
To let it go.
Yeah, right, because I was vulnerable, right? Because like I was vulnerable, it made you easier for you to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you weren't vulnerable, if you would have been, then it would have been easier for me to let it go, because it was not like let go of my fears. Oh, it's okay. I'm good on my own.
Yeah, exactly. And so like vulnerability just like breeds. Brene Brown says something beautiful. She says vulnerability breeds trust, and trust breeds vulnerability. And I really like that, because I saw that with us. The more we become vulnerable with each other, the more we've started to trust each other. And the more we trust each other, the more we're able to become vulnerable with each other.
Yeah, vulnerability is connections with others, when we can relate to different emotions and opening up. That's how we connect deeply with people.
Yeah. And also that like fears, and like I've had plenty come up myself, they're all just complete bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, they're all complete bullshit. They have nothing to do with reality of what's actually happening. You know, they're all just like in here. So this video I think has gone on pretty long.
Okay, but I think
Let's give them some takeaways. Give them something to hold on to, the folks at home, you know?
yeah. So the point how we get over that fear is that he decided from that time of like, oh, I'm not gonna get into it, but still like I want it. He decided to leave Bali. And a few days later, not much contact, he's like, I'm leaving Bali. And from then, I had no fears anymore, because the guy is leaving, right? So I'm not scared to be hurt, because I don't expect to be hurt. There's a date of
Expiration.
Yeah.
It's like you have like a yogurt in the fridge for too long.
Right, so it's just a little while, so I know like I can enjoy it and then let it go.
Enjoy it. Oh.
So there's no fears into this.
Enjoy the yogurt.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So from this, I was like, actually, I want to see you. Actually, I like you. I want to spend time with you. Mm-hmm. That's how all my fear was gone. And then we decided to spend some time together. And then it was so good that I decided to go a couple of days together before you're leaving. And you were supposed to leave tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow. Yeah,
the day after tomorrow. But I'm staying.
Yeah.
And now we're like in a relationship. Like we're actually like in a relationship.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I guess everyone knows now. And so there's been fears that have come up for me, for her, and so now we're having to practice vulnerability like every day, because if we don't, then it's just like low vibes.
And it's been great to feel ourselves growing in a way while I can be vulnerable, I can be myself, I can be authentic. But then I think we can talk about this more in another video because there's other stories to say.
Yeah, vulnerability is power, and I've experienced that now in a deeper way with this woman here, and I think that if more people are vulnerable, I think that there'll be more love shared. I think there'll be more trust built, and more deeper connections, less fear, less separation, and more decisions based off love and not fear and inspiration.
Yeah, and the point as well that I found really interesting is self-awareness. Realizing when actually it's not you talking but your fears. And when you can realize this and own it, well, I'm fearful, otherwise I wouldn't have react like that, and own it, that you come from such a different place, and then you can realize and actually change your reaction and actions.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Congrats. Yay. Good job. Okay.
Great job. Good job. I'm curious to see how long that was. I think it's gonna be like 15 minutes or something like that.
That was a good...
That was 23 minutes.